Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Bird's Eye View podcast where we talk about Orioles 24/7. So, yeah, the Orioles have a lot of awards to go over, a lot of recognition this year for our guys, which is amazing because after such a great season. And we'll be going over all of them today and all of the amazing accomplishments of our guys, and as well as maybe some Rule 5 stuff, all the guys that we protected, as well as contracts and non-tendered stuff like that. We'll cover it all today on the Bird's Eye View podcast. But before we get into it, please follow us on the YouTube page, subscribe if you are listening on YouTube, as well as Podcast, Google Podcast. We will be. And we talk about Orioles here 24/7. So if you're an Orioles fan, it's you. And thank you for taking time to listen during your day. We greatly appreciate it. So let's just get into a lot of great stuff to talk about today. And positive for, but like I said, a lot of recognition for the Orioles and a lot of awards handed out. So first up, I think let's get started with the Ramon Urias Gold Glove. Ramon Urias played really well.
And I just want to say something. I want to add something. On our channel, we currently have 8 subscribers. Not a lot. Not a lot at all.
It's a start.
It's a start.
I'll subscribe. I'll make it 9.
You haven't even subscribed yet?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know y'all had a YouTube channel.
Yeah, we do. But, yeah, that introduced us to our guest, Philip. You may have heard him on Beyond the Ballpark. If you listen to Beyond the Ballpark, which go check out after this.
He's a very overrated commentator, by the way.
Yeah, no, true. I'm like better than Josh. I don't know what he's talking about personally. Yeah, that's wild.
Bro, I'm better than both y'all, but anyway.
Yeah, probably. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, that's Philip. And he's a Nationals fan, so he knows more about the Nationals, but he still knows a thing or two about the Orioles. So we'll kind of get an unbiased view.
I'm an unbiased source. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But we'll get his input as well as an outsider and very unbiased opinion. So yeah, Ramon Urias Gold Glove, fantastic. He primarily played third base for the Orioles, but he also played a little second base, a little shortstop. But yeah, congratulations to him for a Gold Glove. That was fantastic. I mean, he was really able to play well over there, and he did a fantastic job with the hot corner. And the bat kind of was underwhelming overall, but the glove certainly played, obviously, with this Gold Glove. And I would just like to say that it is blasphemy that Jorge Mateo did not finish as a finalist for the shortstop position, but he did get an award.
Which
we'll talk about later in this episode.
Well, I mean, he was great defensively, but he did actually end up having he didn't end up having 22 errors, if I'm wrong. I might be wrong, but he had 22 errers or so.
No, yeah, that's got to be the reason that they didn't give it to him, because again, besides that, he's one of the best fielders.
I mean, but then again, it is shortstop.
Yeah, I can't.
And you see Rookie Odor, he had 19 errors at second base. Base. You don't make errors at second base often.
I could go out there and have less errors than Rookie Odor.
You couldn't.
Yeah, I think I could. I'm just saying.
That's debatable, but okay.
But yeah, Ramon Urias, Gold Glove, third base. It will kind of be interesting to see what role he takes on in 2022 and what he could do. He had some infield versatility. Obviously, I said he could play second, short, and third. So he has that ability to move around the diamond. So it'll be interesting to see how the Orioles use him in 2023. Probably he'll be on the opening day roster. But yeah, he got a Gold Glove, first one in his career. I believe he joins Manny Machado and Brooks Robinson as Oriole Gold Glove winners at the third base position. So very elite company in terms of the Gold Glove award at that specific position for the Orioles.
And he only had 8 errors from the hot corner this season.
Very impressive, yeah.
Great, pretty
And
impressive.
you hear 19 at second base, and then you only see 8. So that's again very impressive.
After playing like 98 games there too, he played 98 games in the hot corner.
Yeah. Next up, I think we gotta talk about Adley Rutschman and all his accomplishments. What a season he had when he got going. Orioles MVP or MVO, I think it's called, most valuable Oriole. Which he really was. He really was the turning point of the Orioles winning season. They were playing underwhelming baseball at the beginning, and then he got called up, and the Orioles immediately turned it around. He made the pitching staff better. He made the offense better, and he really was fantastic, as well as Rookie of the Year runner-up. Sadly, Julio Rodriguez won it, but no disrespect to him. He had a fantastic season, but Adley Rutschman, finishing runner-up is a very good honor as well. Silver Slugger finalist, I understand. I mean, Rutschman's eye at the plate. If you look at the stats, he had like 80-something strikeouts and 60-something walks. I mean, that's unheard of these days. His eye,
for a rookie
his command
and
of the strike
a catcher.
zone.
Yeah.
Yes, and a catcher. That's very important to note.
No.
And then he was a nominee for the All MLB team, which I believe you can still fill out your ballot at the time of recording this episode. So
yep, I voted.
I don't think I have yet. I think I need to go do that.
I voted for Adley Rutschman.
Go vote for Adley. He's one of 4 Orioles on there.
I'm such a big Orioles fan. I voted for Santander over Judge.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good take. I think that's a very good take.
I did that. But
I just want to add a quick note, real quick. Nothing. This has nothing to do with like the awards and stuff, but it's just a quick roster move that I think could affect next year. The Orioles tendered 2023 contracts to Austin Hayes, Jorge Mateo, Cedric Mullins, Anthony Santander, Dylan Tate, and Austin Voth.
Got a bunch of really big guys on that team. Maybe besides both, but again, he was never very good.
Hey, do not disrespect both.
Hey, he was a national for longer than he was an Orioles. I'm just saying he's not very good.
He's a solid. He gets some innings.
We'll talk about that later. Just chill out. Yeah. But let's admire some awards. But we'll get into the arbitration stuff later, as well as Rule 5 protections, which are the big, stuff with roster construction.
I would like to mention something really quickly, again, about the Rookie of the Year. Again, you see the two guys that he was pitted up against, which were Rodriguez and Kwan. Honestly, I love that they picked Steven Kwan over Jeremy Pena because, again, Kwan was hitting like 300, and I thought he was just better than Pena overall. Because again,
hold up. Didn't you say Jeremy Pena was better than Adley Rutschman?
Yo.
Yeah, I did. And I think that Steven Kwan is better than Jeremy Pena and Adley Rutschman. Okay.
Hey,
I'm Steven
Kwan
truther.
Bro.
Okay. Hear me out.
Bro.
I was about to
family
compliment.
friendly, and you're turning to a whole different level of just being stupid.
Wow.
I was about to say something that complimented Adley. Okay. I was about to say
that doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter, bro.
It doesn't matter at this point because
I swear
because you're being so stupid.
You put Steven Kwan over Adley, bro. No.
Yeah, I'm a Steven Adley prophet.
I don't even know if I can keep you on. I don't even know if I can keep you on here right now, man.
That is crazy.
No, I can't keep him on the podcast. He's gonna be making that.
That's crazy.
If he's doing that type of take, I can't keep him on the podcast.
No, that's just the disrespect towards Adley.
Yeah,
oh.
Philip.
Wow.
Philip may somehow join later, but let's just
he's gone
keep going
now.
with Adley. How he was a Silver Slugger finalist. He's a nominee for all MLB.
I'm back. Y'all realize I'm just trying to get y'all riled up. You know this, right?
I don't care. That's not a joke to me.
Yeah, but it is a joke. All right. All right,
let's keep this moving though.
Yeah, we got to keep the train rolling after that horrible take. Even if it was a joke.
It was a joke.
I don't care. You don't joke about that stuff.
You don't joke about
that. That's not. I
forget that I'm on I forget I'm on a podcast with a bunch of Orioles fans. And I need to chill.
Yeah,
that's like joking, saying that the Earth is flat, and then saying it's not.
Yeah, but it is.
What? All right, let's get.
Wait, I'm not in here with a bunch of flat earthers. So
Let's keep the
might
train
need to leave.
rolling. Let's keep the train rolling. We
Let's
got
just move
Adley
on.
Rushman as a Silver
Definitely.
Slugger finalist.
Yeah. But yeah,
I think. Ooh. I think that's a. That's
you don't have the right to talk anymore, Phil.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave, bro. Y'all are just being so.
You can stay if you want, but like, just be quiet for now. That's. But yeah, that's
Not even
just.
letting him talk, bro.
But yeah, like, nah, we don't do that here.
We don't do that, man. We don't do that.
we don't diss Adley Rushman here. We love Adley, and he is the future.
Yeah, we have him as a Silver Slugger finalist, and the AL winner who beat him out. And I honestly agree with this. Alejandro Kirk, great season for him. I actually agree with him beating out Adley. I think he had a better season than Adley. I don't think that disrespects Adley at all either. Because, like, to lose to a guy like Alejandro Kirk is just, like, it doesn't, like, it's not, like, embarrassing to lose to him. Losing to someone else, someone, like, you've never heard of, like, somehow, like, just had, like, a miraculous season is, like, it's not as more big of a deal, but, like, Alejandro Kirk, he drew 63 walks and striking out only 58 times.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He was one of only 6 qualified hitters, along with Soto, Alex Bregman, Luis Arias, Steven Kwan, and Yandy Diaz with more walks than strikeouts. He led all catchers in batting average, 285, and on base percentage, 372. Like, I completely agree with that. Adley Rushman, great season, but you can't beat out Alejandro Kirk when he's playing like that because Adley only was hitting 254 with 13 bombs.
Yep.
Kirk hitting 285. Like, what do you guys say about that, man? I'm sorry, I was taking a bit of the stuff away from you, man.
That's okay. I think definitely the fact that Adley was not up for the entire season hurt him. That injury definitely was not the greatest for Adley. But yeah, both him and Kirk are just like they're both elite catchers and everything that they do. So I think that's all for Adley Rushman.
Nope, that's not all.
Is that not all?
He's nominee for All MLB.
Nominee for All MLB. Yeah, that's
and
he's on the MLB ballot. So you can go vote for him.
So the catchers currently on the All MLB ballot are William Contreras, Braves, Wilson Contreras, Cubs, Travis d'Arnaud, Braves, Alonso Kirk, Blue Jays, Sean Murphy, A's, Cal Raleigh, Mariners, JT Realmuto, Phillies, Adley Rushman, Orioles, Will Smith, Dodgers, Jose Trujillo, Yankees. I personally think it's going to be Wilson Contreras or Will Smith.
Could be.
I think Adley's like 3 or 4 out of those guys. Like, probably like maybe 4 after like William. So like I would say right now it's probably Will Smith, Wilson, Kirk, Adley. Adley and Kirk are probably close. But just based off the season, maybe like interchangeable between Wilson, Kirk. But I think like it's Wilson and Kirk are like 2 or 3 there. But I think Adley's like 4th top catcher in baseball right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Top 4 catcher in baseball right now, definitely.
He's definitely one of the best. For
sure. Definitely top 10 just because he's on All MLB.
Yes.
But I would say definitely top 5.
Yeah.
Top 4.
Yes. Yeah. I would definitely say that.
Let's head on to I say maybe Brandon Hyde, man.
Yes. I'll vote Brandon Hyde. So Brandon Hyde, runner-up for Manager of the Year, lost to Terry Francona. Terry Francona obviously was able to take a young team on a budget, get the most out of his players, and get 90 wins, which is very impressive. They took that division as well, but Brandon Hyde, obviously, at the helm of his team, he really was a big factor in this winning season. He did a lot for his team. He's a players coach. He cared about his players and cared about keeping his players healthy and running the entire season. And Brandon Hyde, I just think, did a fantastic job overall. He was able. I liked his in-game calls that he made, in terms of like switching out pitchers and calls to the bullpen. I agreed with a lot of what he did, and I just think that he was one of the best managers in the game this year. And I think, Brandon Hyde is gonna.
Yeah.
He'll probably make the
Yeah.
playoffs next year, and he was a great manager this year.
He led to him 83-79 season right after the 5210 season, the worst season under his management. He
Yep.
joined them 2019 after being like somewhat of a washed up coach for the Marlins, only having 1 year under his belt with the Marlins. Actually, not even 1 year, it was only one game. He coached one game with the Marlins.
Mm-hmm.
One game. And he also had a bit of a playing career too. He played catcher and first base. And I see him working really well with Adley. Like, I think maybe because he was a catcher previously, but he played like single A, double A ball, and wasn't a good player, but he understands, like, I get it, like how he understands the game,
Mm-hmm.
and like how he understands the game helps him like with his players, like how he's able to understand like what their needs and stuff is, like how they want to look to the fans. Having that like type of manager that understands um how like understanding what your players need is very important in your manager. So when you have a manager who's played like give me an example of someone. Quick example. Frank Robinson.
Oh.
Frank Robinson.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Great
Great
player.
example.
Amazing player. And he was a decent coach too. I wouldn't say great coach, but decent coach.
Decent, yeah.
And that helped him connect with his players though, playing. And I think that works well with Brandon Hyde, even if he didn't play at a high level. And I think the fact that he didn't play at a high level might actually help him being able to connect with some of these younger guys because they're coming fresh right out of the minor leagues.
Yep. Yeah, definitely good point. A lot to be said about Brandon Hyde and his character. And now we can kind of talk about these two, kind of together because both were fast and they had great gloves. Jorge Mateo and Cedric Mullins. I think we'll start with Jorge Mateo here. Yes, Cedric Mullins. But let's get it started with Jorge Mateo. He was the AL steal leader. I believe he had like 30-something steals. I don't quite remember.
He was
tied with Cedric. Yeah. And yes. And then fielding Bible Award winner. And in case you don't know what that is, you're the best at your position in all of baseball, and only one player at each position gets that award.
Then why didn't he win the Gold Glove then? My question is, why didn't he win the Gold Glove, but he won the
I don't
Bible
know.
Award?
Gold Glove is messed up. The Gold Glove award is messed up.
I think honestly it's just based off of who you know, honestly, sometimes.
It could be. But
Vernon Urias got it, but
yeah, it's true. But yeah, Jorge Mateo, fantastic at shortstop. The range, his ability to track down baseballs at shortstop. The throws could be a little bit, shaky at times, but at the end of the day, most of the time he was able to get the ball over first base.
He could pull some clean double plays.
Matter.
And he's athletic. I saw him make like a jumping catch once. Like he just like jumped up in there and grabbed it.
Yeah, he is pretty athletic.
Like some sort of like that's like some sort of like Fernando Tatis non-steroid stuff, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry. Yeah, his medicine for his earworm or whatever.
And then he was the
ringworm. Sorry, medicine for ringworm. Sorry, not PD's ringworm.
Yeah, but he was the AL steals leader, tied. Yeah, he was very fast. Most of the time, he's able to get a good jump, and he's fast. That's the whole point. And I think this season was important for Jorge Mateo. He had never really gotten a real shot anywhere. He was with the Padres for a little bit. He was with the Yankees and Athletics, and was never really got a chance to be an everyday shortstop until he reached the Orioles. And I think the Orioles displayed their comfort in him playing shortstop every day, regardless of the subpar bat, which wasn't the worst bat. Wasn't the worst bat, but wasn't the greatest bat ever. Kind of just a little bit below average. But
also an outfielder too, and
he did play some outfield.
He was actually, fun fact, he was actually with the Yankees at one point.
He was, yes, that's right. He was in their system. But this was really the first full season of Jorge Mateo at shortstop, and while he didn't really impress with the bat, there wasn't much going on. He could chase at times, and definitely had that problem, as well as just lacking some consistency. It was important. I think it was important for him to get a full season under his belt, and he was able to display some unbelievable ability at shortstop. And for now, I think he's going to plug in very nicely, and he's going to fit that mold. And then Cedric Mullins, again, he's another fast dude. Cedric Mullins is not built as big and tall as some other guys, but he's able to swipe bases pretty flawlessly. It's a skill that he never lost in his time in Major League Baseball. And then, Gold Glove finalist, another great center fielder in the game. Again,
I saw him make a sliding catch, man. He got hurt on that play, but it was insane.
Yeah.
I'm worried he's gonna get hurt making some of these catches, though.
Yeah, it's true. He can sacrifice his body a little bit, but at the end of the day, he is okay. Cedric Mullins, again, just another very impressive guy with in terms of range. He's just able to track down baseballs like nobody else. And I think that's what makes Cedric Mullins and Jorge Mateo kind of similar. But Cedric Mullins is obviously more impressive with the bat. He can hit for a better average, slightly more power. I don't think that we're going to see a 30 homer Cedric Mullins. I don't think we're going to see the 16 homer guy either. I think we're going to gotta see around 20 home runs from him per season. Maybe a little under, maybe a little over.
He's going to be like a 2020 guy, like regularly.
Yes, I think that's when he'll be moving forward.
Or 2030, actually. Probably more 2030, but...
Yeah, I think at the absolute worst, it's probably 2020 guy, and at the best, it's 2030.
Personally, I think him or Jorge Mateo could get 40 steals next season because of the new bases.
That's true. Yes, that is something to keep in mind, that bases are getting bigger in dimensions. That will be very fun to see those two fly on the base paths for the Baltimore Orioles. So that is those two: Jordan Westburg, Brooks Robinson, minor league player of the year in the Orioles system, not in minor league baseball. But Jordan Westburg, unbelievable season. Really came on the scene and just had a fantastic season. Again, like the position is a bit up in the air for him. You don't quite know where he's going to be. Maybe it's second base, maybe it's third base, maybe it's shortstop. That is kind of yet to be figured out. Kind of just an infielder at this point. But that bat, it doesn't matter. Utility man, but it doesn't matter. The bat's going to play.
Yeah. And he's going to be very important next season, especially because second base is going to be so weak. And like all of baseball.
That's true. But second base is one of the weaker positions in Major League Baseball. But yeah, Jordan Westburg, 265 average, 355 on base, 496 slugging, and 851 OPS. Fantastic. And in 138 games across 3 levels. I believe it was in high A, double A, and triple A. Or just 2 teams. I misread it. Bowie and Norfolk, he spent his year with. He played 138 games, 544 at-bats, pretty much just a full season. 96 runs, 144 hits, 39 doubles, 3 triples, 27 homers, 106 RBIs, 70 walks, and 147 strikeouts, as well as 12 stolen bases. I like Jordan Westburg a lot. I think he has a lot to offer, and low-key he might have a shot to make camp with the Orioles and try and get that second base position locked in opening day. I really like Jordan Westburg and what he can do, and I can't wait to see his future moving forward.
And I think someone we should talk about quick. He was named Jim Player of the Year, Ryan Watson, Norfolk
Yes.
Times.
Mm-hmm. I believe he's the pitcher.
I actually haven't heard of him before now.
Mm-hmm.
Like before recently, I haven't heard of him. I know. I mean, didn't they get him in the Manny trade from the Dodgers?
I hadn't heard of him. No,
because
they did not.
he was drafted by the Dodgers.
He was not in the Manny Machado trade, I believe.
But 3.44 ERA, solid. He had one save as a starter, so he's a starter, but he still got one save and coming in relief. Only gave up 25 runs. Oh, sorry, not 25. 41 runs. But played for two teams, both Bowie and Norfolk. Mainly with Bowie, he just got called up to Norfolk and only played 7 games. I don't have a lot to say about him, but one thing I do have to mention, we should mention, he racked up 108 strikeouts in one season.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And
yeah, very
with
impressive.
a 110 whip.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Definitely a great player, Ryan Watson. And then we move on here. Anthony Santander,
Tony
Silver
Taters.
Slugger. Yes, sir.
Tony.
Silver Slugger finalist and nominee for All MLB. Fantastic. Switching power. I could definitely see that the plate discipline improved with him. He was able to get some, better plate discipline down. Was able to take some more pitches than he normally would, which is a big step forward in his game. Something that I think was a big issue that he was able to at least try and fix. So very impressive from him.
Yeah.
And obviously the power came from both sides. It wasn't like it was one-sided power like Adley Rushman. It was you were seeing home runs from both right and left sides of the plate, which I think was also big in his value in his game. And then nominee for All MLB.
Yeah, I saw like 2 games that season. This season, that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
I went to 2 games this season where I saw him hit
Mm-hmm.
2 home runs in one game. He
Yeah,
had like 3 2 home run games that season. And but the thing is, the problem is he's got a lot of tough players in outfield because outfield's like denser, really dense.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of players he needs to beat out. And
yes, he does.
Like, do you want me to name some of them or?
Sure, you can. If you have the ballot, you can.
I can name like. I mean, they're all notable, but like I'll just name a few notable ones: Mookie Betts, Byron Buxton, Michael Harris, Aaron Judge, Stephen Kwan, Julio Rodriguez, Kyle Schwarber, Juan Soto, George Springer, Mike Trout, Kyle Tucker. They also got Starling Marte on there. Some other guys like Taylor Ward, Don Varsho don't really have a chance. Don't really have a chance compared to, honestly, even Santander compared to Varsho, Ward, Garcia, even Teoscar, even Hunter Renfroe, Brandon Nimmo, Brian Reynolds. I think he's still better than all of those guys.
Yeah.
But at least I know now we have a top outfielder in the game, though.
True. That's true.
But my worry is that they're going to trade him because he's got a lot of trade value.
It's true. We saw with Jorge Lopez and how, they traded him at the peak of his trade value, and
he didn't do that well. He didn't really do that well.
He did fine, but he didn't do as well as a Minnesota Twin when he got to Minnesota. But it's amazing that the Orioles were able to get 4 pitchers in a prospect haul back for Jorge Lopez, when last year, or in 2021, he was just massively struggling starter, and now he became like one of the better closers in the game. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see that with Santander this offseason. Maybe try and clear some room for some prospects like Colton Cowser and whatnot. We'll see what happens. It'll be very interesting to see where the Orioles decide Anthony Santander. The Mountain, Felix Bautista. Cue the lights if we have lights, but we don't.
Sorry. Gotta be excited there, man.
I know Felix Bautista is very, very exciting. Nominee for All MLB, great to see, as well as Ciano Perez, the lefty flamethrower. Both of them were locked down in the bullpen this year for the Birds. Bautista really was remarkable. He shifted well into the closer role and was able to lock in some games. Was throwing like 100 and with that big frame, which is pretty impressive. As well as Ciano Perez was throwing it pretty hard from the left side, and both of those guys I think did a fantastic job.
Problem is, I don't think they're gonna win just because I'm looking at the chart here, like the ballot here. We got on it. I mean, some of these guys are like Daniel Bard, Scott Barlow, Brock Burke. Not like guys you think would be on here, like Alexis Diaz, Guillermo Duvall. But you got guys like Emmanuel Clays, Edwin Diaz, Ryan Helsey, Liam Hendricks, Clay Holmes. He was good being first half. Kenley Jansen, Andres Munoz, even Ryan Presley, Jordan Romano. Bro, I saw Jordan Romano warming up in the bullpen. He was so fired up and ready for the game. I can't tell if he was fired up or angry. He threw his water bottle against the wall.
That's crazy.
He just chucked it at the wall, man. He just chucked it.
That's crazy. But
I'm like, okay. Like I don't know how to respond to that really. He just chucks his water bottle against the wall.
Yeah.
The only thing to think is why.
Yeah. You really do have to wonder why. That's a good point. But yeah, both Bautista and Perez will have a lot of competition in this reliever category on the MLB ballot. And then Gunnar Henderson. So MLB Pipeline and Baseball America named him their minor league player of the year, which is a very high honor for any minor leaguer, and basically saying he was the best minor leaguer in all the minors.
Let's go.
Which makes sense because Gunnar Henderson had quite a season. He improved on a lot of things. His game was elevated to a whole new level. So much so that the Orioles gave him a call up, and now he's poised to make the opening day roster with the Birds, and fantastic. You love to see it from Gunnar Henderson. Both him and Rushman, the 2019 first rounder and second rounder, are now in the bigs playing unbelievably well, and you're very proud of it. And Gunnar Henderson.
Hey, do you mind if I play something real quick? We're past this player, but I just need to do this.
Yes, you can play something. Yes. Perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect.
That intro is nice.
It is a nice intro.
I mean, the lights give me somewhat of a headache, but
yeah,
it's worth it. It's worth it.
It is worth it. It's an unbelievable intro. But yeah, Gunnar Henderson, unbelievable year. Both at the big league level, he showed great promise at the big league level. And
not second base though, man. Not second base. Never again.
I wouldn't put him at second. That is not ideal. But great at third or shortstop, wherever he winds up.
Absolutely.
And an early candidate for Rookie of the Year going into 2023, because technically he has maintained his prospect status, and he'll probably open the year on the Orioles roster, and he'll probably play out of his mind, and he'll probably win a Rookie of the Year award. So definitely a guy to keep an eye out for.
He's already in the Hall of Fame, dude. He's already in the Hall of Fame. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
It's true. But now let's talk about after all those amazing awards. Congratulations to all of the Orioles that were recognized for at least a nomination or an MVP or an actual award. Congratulate all of them. But now let's look at the five guys that were added for the Rule 5 draft protection. Um, we have a lot of guys that are exposed to the Rule 5, but we also have a few guys here that were protected and will not be eligible for the Rule 5. First one I think we have to talk about is Grayson Rodriguez. You would have thought he was in the bigs by this point, and this wasn't really something that the Orioles had to consider, but obviously the injury prevented him from getting to the bigs on time and on schedule.
Now back.
So he's now
He's
back.
here. He's here.
Yes. He might make the opening day roster.
I want to see
more
him.
likely,
I want to see him, man.
More likely than not, he will be on the opening day roster. But Grayson Rodriguez, unbelievable pitcher, the best pitcher in the minors right now, arguably. He'll make his debut very quickly in minor leagues. Grayson Rodriguez, fantastic pitcher. I've seen him pitch. He has an electric arm, and that cannot be denied. And he's going to be an absolute force for the Orioles moving forward.
Yeah. I got nothing to add on to that, man. That's a great take there. It's a great not take, but just great.
Great statement.
I don't even know. Yeah, great statement about it.
Yeah, and now we got our second guy here, Joey Ortiz, who had a great season.
Woo!
He might be a trade chip, arguably. That could be up for debate whether he is in Baltimore by next year. But great year from him. He had quite a season. You knew that coming out of New Mexico State, he had the glove to be a good defensive shortstop, but he really put on the bat this year. It performed very well, and he could have been a borderline. He was probably a borderline Rule 5 guy.
And the problem is they got so many solid prospects. They gotta trade some of these at some point. That they can't have all these guys.
Especially because some of these guys won't pan out. So there's always that to keep in mind. And try and get them out of here while their trade value is still high enough.
Yeah.
But Joey Ortiz had quite a season at the plate. He really put it all together, and it's great to see from this guy. He could get a shot out of spring training, probably not, but I don't know. We'll see.
I wouldn't put it past him, man. He cooked it up, man.
I wouldn't either, but definitely a guy to keep an eye out for in the spring training. Sneaky infield candidate for the Birds. And then our third guy here is...
You gonna talk about Hassan Askin?
He didn't get protected. He's not eligible, I don't think.
Oh, he's eligible?
No. He's fine. He's cleared. I think he was drafted in 2020, so that he's good. He is good.
Yeah,
we can breathe. We can breathe. Hudson Haskin he's safe for now.
Okay.
And then Seth Johnson, very interesting one. Seth Johnson is going to be a very interesting case because he was in the Trey Mancini deal from the Tampa Bay Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays decided to throw him the Orioles' way. But he got Tommy John a couple of days after the trade happened, so that's an interesting factor. And he won't pitch next year in 2023. If anything, he'll be good to go by mid or late 2024. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Seth Johnson. He'll probably get tabbed for the 60-day IL, but I guess the Orioles didn't want to take the chance of a team putting him on their 40-man and realizing his talent as well. So Seth Johnson, I think, is a good protection. I think it's safe, and a guy that you invested for Trey Mancini is definitely a guy that should be protected.
Trey Mancini's got a ring now, man.
He does. I totally forgot about that. Let's take a minute to congratulate Trey Mancini on his World Series victory.
Miss you, man. I miss you, man.
We all miss you. But as we do on Beyond the Ballpark, it is always a tradition when something good happens. We should bring it over here. Let's clap it up for Trey Mancini and his World Series victory. But yeah, Trey Mancini is a World Series champion. That is a great sentence to say.
I know. Hopefully, we can say Adley Rutschman is a World Series champion with the Orioles someday. With the Orioles.
Yes.
I don't want to say
yes.
that when he's not on the Orioles.
Yeah, that's a good point. But Adley probably will get a World Series ring with us. We are a young and talented upcoming team, and it's very exciting to see. Drew Rom also got protected. He was Rule 5 eligible. It was a 2018 draft pick out of high school, which made him eligible. 2019 college draft picks are eligible for Rule 5 this year. And 2018 high school picks are eligible this year. So that's why. Drew Rom is in the Dan Duquette era. I believe he's one. Unless I think Grayson Rodriguez too, but Drew Rom was a Dan Duquette pick. I
Yeah,
believe he was in the
Grayson was.
fourth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Grayson was
Grayson
too.
was too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
But
Adley was the first Mike Elias first round pick, if I'm not wrong.
yes,
I'm right.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
And what a pick that was! What a pick!
What a pick, folks. That was a pick. But anyway, yeah, Drew Rom, he probably won't make it to the bigs this year. He's only 22. So he's
You
only
realize
22 years
Juan
old.
Soto's laughing in the corner at you right now?
I know, it's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Just literally jokes are can you imagine how good Juan Soto will be when he's Adley's age?
I know, right? That's crazy. But yeah, Drew Rom is pretty young for what it is.
It's easy.
And
it is easier for overseas guys to make it to the bigs for.
yeah, that's true. But yeah, Drew Rom probably will spend the entire year at Norfolk unless he really shoves, and the Orioles might consider it as a September call up. I don't really see him being on the Orioles squad at any point in 2023. Probably 2024 is his time, if anything. So, but a safe guy to protect, crafty lefty. You always gotta cherish those when you have them. And then our last guy here, who is not ranked. He's not ranked on a list at all. Noah Denoyer, very interesting selection, and the only guy that wasn't ranked to be protected is his 40. He missed out in 2019 on being a draft pick in a 40-round draft. Was not drafted, but the Orioles signed him as an undrafted free agent, and he has been really good in the minor leagues. Quite a pickup by the Elias regime. This kid Noah Denoyer, and who knows? He might be competing for a bullpen job this spring. We saw what happened with Felix Bautista. It could happen again. That's always in the realm of possible. So maybe you see him
Realm
enter
of
a bullpen role.
possible.
Yes.
You mean realm of possibility, buddy?
Realm of possible. It's in the realm of possible. That's what it is. But we saw what happened with Felix Bautista. Made quite an impact as a Rule 5 protection. And maybe Noah Denoyer could be that next guy if the Orioles give him a shot this opening day. Also, switch hitter, which is very interesting as a pitcher because it doesn't really matter for him. But I find it very interesting as a pitcher. He's a switch hitter. So if he ever decides to become the next Shohei Ohtani, he will be a switch hitter. But anyway, and then we also, last part here today of the episode, 6 arbitration eligible players. They were tendered contracts. These players are Austin Hayes, Jorge Mateo, Cedric Mullins, Anthony Santander, Dylan Tate, and Austin Voth. A lot of these guys were expected to be given a contract or tendered a contract. Austin Hayes, Cedric Mullins, Anthony Santander, pretty big parts overall in the Orioles outfield. Austin Hayes, kind of a tale of 2 seasons for him. But I still think that you have to see what he has and give him a contract. Cedric Mullins, you have to keep him around. He's our center fielder right now. And Anthony Santander, after the year he had, you cannot let that go. So this outfield has been, tendered a contract, and I think all these guys are probably going to be back in 2023. It's a good feeling, definitely for sure.
Absolutely. Not a lot to add to that. I mean, I do want to say that I'm really excited for next season. Like,
I am too.
I've
Yeah,
never been more excited for a season than for next season.
I think I'm excited for the off season because this is
Yeah,
finally liftoff.
yeah. Like he's saying, like it's time to like actually spend money. Like he's actually willing to spend. Sorry, I
Yes,
don't know why I'm saying he. Like I can say his name. It's not like gonna be bad if it isn't. Mike Elias is finally actually says he's gonna spend money.
yes.
I don't know if he's telling the truth. I hope he is. But
Well, we
I
gotta
mean,
hope.
we gotta hope, and we'll see. Um, when it's when off season rolls around. But I'm gonna stick by his word that he's gonna spend some money.
Yep.
Open his checking
Checkbook.
account, checkbook. Uh, splash the cash. Get us a few decent players, and don't kill our chances at being good again.
Yeah, we gotta hope.
We gotta hope, man. We gotta hope.
And then another guy, last hitter was tendered a contract. Jorge Mateo. We mentioned him in our award segment. Jorge Mateo. I think the defense was just too good to pass up for the Orioles, and probably not making a lot of money. This arbitration, probably around like $1 million or $2 million. So I think
You
it's an
seen that? I mean,
easy
for
buy.
MLB, not a lot. Real life, that's a lot.
That is a lot in real life, but
Yeah,
for Major League Baseball, that is not a lot of money.
not a lot. Not a lot at all.
But
I mean,
again,
I'll take $1 million. I'll take $1 million.
I'll take $1 million. But
Do
yeah,
you have $1 million for me?
no, I do not have a million
Oh
dollars for you.
man.
It's okay.
Yeah,
But
I'm sorry I asked.
Jorge Mateo, I think the defense, you could pay him for his defense alone. Maybe if he tries, I would like to hope that he's trying to work on his game offensively this offseason. Maybe try and get the average up. Maybe hit a couple more homers, and he should be good to go. And with that defense and that range and speed, I think it's an easy buy in to tender him a contract. At the shortstop position, and he'll probably be the opening day shortstop. If there's anything
Uh,
you want to add to that.
yeah, he will be the opening day shortstop. Next season, I think this is just my opinion. Get rid of Rookanador. I mean, not get rid of him, but like, don't start him as often. Move either Gunner to third or Gunner at short, and move either Urias to second or Mateo to second.
Odor isn't even on the Orioles anymore. Brunette Odor is a free agent.
Oh yeah, I forgot. But that makes things easier now. Move
He will not be
Mateo.
coming back by any means.
Move Mateo to second. Gunner short. Urias he's at third because I think he deserves to stay at third. Honestly, just because he won the Gold Glove.
I personally say that you move Urias to second, Jorge Mateo sticks at shortstop, and Gunnar Henderson at third is my hopeful opening day.
All right.
Infield.
I'll take that too. I'll take that too. It's just as long as we're not like platooning guys.
Yeah, that's the point.
I don't want to be platooning. I mean, what are they gonna do with Terran Vavra though?
He could move into the Odor void, kind of like as a good guy off the bench.
DH guy off the bench.
DH, little infield, little outfield. I think
What about
Vavra is just
What about Stowers then? Isn't that Stowers kind of position then?
he's in that position with the outfield. Stowers can't play the infield.
I know. I'm saying like, but isn't he kind of in a position where he can play like?
Stowers can play all the outfield positions.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of makes Stowers like a fourth or fifth outfielder, probably fourth. Ryan McKenna being fifth.
Yeah, I would put Stowers ahead of McKenna. I like McKenna and all, but I think Stowers is a bit better.
I do think Stowers is a bit better at this time. I think unless you feel like Stowers can man right field every day and you have Anthony Santander at DH.
I would probably say maybe McKenna might be a bit better defensively, but Stowers is better hitting wise.
Yeah. I think Hayes and Mullins are supposed to be in the outfield. Maybe move Santander to DH and put Stowers in right or McKenna in
I'm
right.
sorry. Wait, are you high? I mean, actually,
no, I'm not.
actually, is a decent idea if you think about it.
Santander isn't the
That
best
actually is
fielder.
that actually is a good idea. He actually isn't that good of an outfielder, and that
Yeah.
actually is a really good idea. So kudos to you, man.
Yeah, that's.
You should become the new manager. You should become,
I should.
give it to Brandon Hyde. Bring in Pat Moran.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got myself a job. And then two pitchers that were tendered a contract, moving away from the offensive side of the baseball. Dylan Tate and Austin Voth. Dylan Tate, obviously, big part of the Orioles bullpen, probably the most consistent part of the Orioles bullpen, arguably. Great arm.
Yeah.
Easily I would take him and pick up the phone, tender contract. That's a no-brainer for me. I think Dylan Tate is great arm to have in the Oriole bullpen, and I know it's very righty dominant, but I think Dylan Tate just has to be there. He's great value and just a great arm in general. He's making the Zach Britton trade look really good right now.
Yeah, I forgot he was in that trade, honestly. But Perez also because he's one of the only actually decent lefties.
Yeah.
And that just makes them all the more important.
Yep.
My question is, are they gonna keep Joey K and Brian
Joey
Baker?
K.
Joey Crable.
Joey Crable. Yeah. I think Crable is probably more of a up in the air at the moment. Baker, I think, is probably more stable with his roster spot than Crable, but I wouldn't be too confident in either roster spot being locked. So
yeah, I think this offseason they should get a decent bullpen piece and maybe some pitching in general. I think
starting pitching is probably more important than the pen right now. But
I think they at least need one more good bullpen piece in my opinion, though.
Yeah, maybe just one more bullpen arm just to shore it up, make sure it's good.
Yeah, polish it up, give it a nice wash in the old washing machine.
Yeah. Yep.
Cleanse it up when it had to relieve Ubaldo Jimenez.
Yep. That's right. And then our final pitcher here, or final player, but second pitcher, Austin Voth. Very, he wasn't the easiest choice to tender a contract with, but I can't blame the Orioles for doing so. Obviously, had absolutely zero success with the Washington Nationals. 10 ERA of the bullpen just wasn't an effective pitcher. And then he had to Baltimore on the waiver wire. He was claimed off waivers by the Orioles, and he becomes a really good starting pitcher down the stretch. And I think it's kind of a low risk, high reward scenario where if you need Austin Voth, he's going to be there and he's going to be productive, and he'll give a good start every 5 days. And then if you don't need him, or whether it's crowded rotation or just isn't playing well, you just kick him to the curb. I don't think that would be much of a problem either. So I like that Austin Voth was tendered a contract. I think it's a safe move, and it's an arm that is going to be reliable, and it's just a safe move. I think
he gets some innings. And that's
yeah,
the guy
he
they
does.
need. That's
He
the
does.
guy they need. A guy that can get him innings.
That's
Get
right.
to the bullpen. That's very important.
But yeah, those were all guys that were tendered contracts. Nobody got non-tendered by the Orioles, so
That's good. That's
just it shows that we're willing to get aggressive. So, because all of those guys I think are very good players.
I wouldn't say very good.
Kind of though. Austin Hayes is good. Cedric Mullins is great. Santander is great. Corey Mateo is good, and Tate and Voth are great. So
I wouldn't say Voth is great. What are you talking
he's
about?
good. He's good. He's good. He's good.
Yeah. You're talking about like when I see great, I'm thinking like Shohei Ohtani, Babe Ruth.
That is another level, in my opinion.
What legendary?
That's its own category.
Like no. When you're talking about great, I think of maybe like Aaron Judge, Juan Soto. That's what I think of great.
Oh, I think of those guys.
I think Dylan Tate. I think it was like stud.
That's
like the single thing I think of him as is a stud.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think that's everything we need to cover in this episode.
That's basically it. I think we're just going to jibber jabber a bit just to get exactly 1 hour for the podcast.
Exactly. You just want jibber jabber to get 1 hour. We'll
yeah,
just
exactly.
Update on some stuff here. John Means. It seems like everything went well for him. So he's thrown for the first time since undergoing Tommy John. Which is fantastic. It shows some good progress, and hopefully we'll get him back.
I don't think we'll be like exactly like it's back to like normal, but I hope we see him like get back to his like ace. Not like I don't see him coming back to his ace self, but I hope like maybe like a solid 1-2 guy for them.
Yeah.
And I want to see, bro. I want to see Dean Kramer light it up next year.
I do too. That'd be fantastic. But I think they're gonna have to be careful with John Means in terms of the arm and making sure he's used carefully and correctly. So I think it's kind of gotta be careful a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely something to take note of in terms of
cross your fingers about, man.
Innings. Cross your fingers.
Get excited.
Yeah, you gotta get excited.
Jump up and down with joy. I don't know. I don't know.
Another interesting thing to note is that out of at one point we had 6 catchers on the 40-man roster. Adley Rutschman, Anthony Berry, Ramos Garcia, and somebody else that I don't remember at the moment. Cam Gallagher, that's what I was forgetting. So out of those 6 guys that were initially on our 40-man, they're all off the 40-man. None of them stuck around. None of them. Some of them are free agents. Some of them are in AAA Norfolk.
Kelvin Gutierrez.
Do you remember Kelvin Gutierrez?
I know. Remember Kelvin Gutierrez is like, who is this? It's like looking at Kelvin Gutierrez at the beginning of the season, I'm like, this is gonna be another one of those seasons, isn't it? But then we just have Ramon Urias come back, and he's just like, I'm back, guys. I'm ready to light up your world.
Yes,
and
sir.
And actually, in the MLB The Show too, he's a beast in MLB The Show. I swear, like in real life and in MLB The Show, he's a beast.
So yeah, Anthony Pemboom got outrighted in Norfolk. Ramos Garcia outrighted in Norfolk. Ramos Garcia went on to elect free agency. He denied the assignment to Norfolk. So did Cam Gallagher. He denied the assignment to Norfolk after being outrighted. Mark Colesbury accepted the assignment, I believe. He was, and then Robinson Trinos obviously elected free agency. So Adley Rutschman is the only guy on the Orioles 40-man that is a catcher, and I expect the Orioles to try and flag down a backup catcher for Adley. So, any candidates right out of the gate?
We're talking about trade or free agency.
I would say more free agency. I don't think the Orioles are going to go crazy for backup catcher.
All right. I can't remember the free agency options for catchers, so I'm just gonna look it up. Like, who are some of the free agency catchers right now?
Headlined by Wilson Contreras.
Wilson Contreras, Tucker Barnhart.
Mike Zunino, Omar Narvaez, Gary Sanchez, Christian Vasquez, Jorge Alfaro, Luke Manley, Tucker Barnhart, Kirk Casale, Tyler Heineman, Jason Castro, Roberto Perez,
Heineman.
Don Nunez. Heineman, I think is how it's pronounced.
Heineman? I don't know,
Roberto,
dude. Hey, if you're watching this, can you comment down below and tell us how you spell your name? Just how you say your name,
Yeah. Or if someone watching knows how to pronounce it,
maybe
comment, we don't know how.
Austin Hedges, maybe.
And then there's also Roberto Perez, Don Nunez, Kevin Plawecki, Luis Torrens, Austin Hedges, Sandy Leon, Robinson Chirinos, Kurt Suzuki, Andrew Knapp, and Austin Romine.
Yeah, honestly,
I like the fit of Austin Hedges.
Yeah, I see a guy like Austin Hedges or maybe Kurt Suzuki.
I think Austin Hedges is a good defensive backup catcher. That I think that'd be pretty good. I think Jorge Alfaro could not be a bad pickup.
I could also see maybe Plawecki, not as good. I really would like Zunino.
I think that's kind of.
I mean that's kind of like big. That's kind of bigger for a backup catcher, just because.
Yeah.
Austin Hedges.
I think Kirk Casale is a good option. I think Kirk Casale is kind of it.
I maybe get Chirinos back. Maybe get Chirinos back.
Maybe.
I honestly liked him, dude. I honestly liked him.
Although he had negative 1.1 WAR, costing us a game.
I forgot about that.
I mean, you got to keep in mind this backup catcher is going to be playing like 2 to 3 times a week. So.
Yeah, so it's got to be someone that can trust. So that's why I'm thinking like Austin Hedges.
I'm thinking a defensive catcher. That's what I'm thinking about.
Defensive. Kurt Suzuki is a defensive catcher. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Isn't Austin Hedges a decent defensive catcher though?
Yeah, he's a defensive first catcher. So,
yeah, so he's gonna be a guy that keep an eye on. Hey, Mike Elias, if you're watching this, why don't you join the pod sometime?
Yeah, I mean, if there are any Oriole fans watching this, reach out to us and we'll get you hooked up if you want to get on the podcast. Especially Mike Elias.
Yeah, just important thing is just note always family friendly. No words, no
no language, no language here.
Nothing that no inappropriate jokes, no
that's right.
Racism, sexism, nothing like that.
Family friendly. That's right.
Always
everyone is friendly. Equal.
And if you dare say that Adley Russian sucks, we will kick you off the podcast though.
Yes, because that's what we did with our friend Philip. Who was on here and then we don't
talk about that. I might have to just edit out the part that where Philip got kicked out.
Yeah, you gotta edit this part out and then send me the new video. So
all right.
So yeah.
We should probably wrap up because we chewed the time out to 1 hour and 6 minutes like I wanted it to.
It just had to go 1 hour.
I know. I want all of our podcasts to go at least 1 hour.
And then, hey, I mean, if Adley, if you're scrolling through YouTube, you find our YouTube page, you're always welcome to come on here.
Hey, or hook us up with autographs, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you can give us some stuff. We'd be proud to represent you, bro.
VIP tickets, I don't know, backstage pass.
I don't know, season tickets, maybe get us on the field, give us your autograph.
Let us try your catcher gear on. I don't know.
I don't know,
that last one was kind of weird though.
Yeah.
that last one was kind of weird, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Adley, you can always come on the podcast if you're listening. And if any Orioles are listening, you can always come on the podcast. We'd be happy to have you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just scrolling through YouTube on a long bus ride and you find us, reach out. We will
comment down below. I can potentially make a Google form and just link it in the description of one of our videos or all of our videos, and you can just click the form, fill out some information. We can try to hook you up and get you on the podcast sometime. We're trying to crank out videos each and every week. Last week's we could not do it. Pat
I was
sadly
sick
was
last weekend.
sick. I was very busy. My mom was sick, and I had to take care of
Definitely over
everyone.
Thanksgiving break.
But
Definitely
yeah,
one.
I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving.
Well,
Hope you have a great
we get to talk
Thanksgiving,
about
Pat.
it. We'll talk about it next weekend when we see each
Yeah.
other.
If we are able to do a podcast next weekend. But let's just say
Yeah.
I will see you guys later, birdies. Goodbye.